We are starting with shoulder blade winging. Ideally, you should do the exercise without using your arm so that all the attention can be on the obliques. Here I'm pressing on the ground with my top hand to get my legs higher and also to counterbalance to help me not to fall over. If the rest of the body was doing the right thing, you would not need to use your arm and thus no winging. The pecs are gripping at the front to help the counterbalance, so the shoulder can't stay in neutral where the serratus anterior and the middle traps should be in charge. Lower back flexion is allowed in some degree in this exercise. When balance is an issue for clients, they are asked to break the straight line from fingers to toes and move the feet slightly forward to perform the exercise. There might not be a perfect neutral then, but a full-blown lower back flexion should also not be visible. The lower back flexion I'm demonstrating here is due to the lower body rotation. Taking my legs up with my hip flexors rather than with my obliques and my glutes. So the normal reaction when hip flexors are involved is the lower back bends into flexion, unless you have the lower back strength to avoid this with the help of the multifidus. Lower back rotation is the next one. I just need to go back to the joint range of movements again to explain this one. The leg can abduct 30 to 34 degrees before the body will start to cheat somewhere else. When you go higher, the focus of the exercise changes. Moving beyond this range, you can see the hips had to rotate to get the legs higher. If the hips remain in line, you will feel that the legs cannot go any higher. So when lying on my right side, the right oblique opened the hips to the left. To keep the hips in line, the top side, which is the left, will need stabilization of the internal oblique, the glute med, and the glute max. The final one is lower back side bend. Another way of getting the legs higher when the hips are not rotating is to collapse the spine. The spine then goes from a straight neutral spine, where the low ribs are not touching the floor, to the ribs pressing into the floor to create a smiley shape with the spine, and that creates a side bend at the top. Again, you can see it in the creases of my top. To correct this, the internal obliques and the QL at the bottom need to activate to pick up the spine back to neutral. The legs will then not be able to go that high, but you are in the range where our bodies are made to move without cheats.